there, Lyndall Pinchen, Canine Naturopath from Canine Vitality, here today with Rabi to share with you 5 ways to prevent hip dysplasia from ruining your dog's life. Now, do you have a puppy that has just been diagnosed with hip dysplasia? And maybe right at the moment you feel like there's very little that you can do to help that growing pup. Now, if this is the case, you know you're not alone. This is really the case for many dog owners, especially those of us who have large to giant breed dogs. And it's certainly one of the most common joint problems seen in our dogs today. And canine hip dysplasia is really a form of arthritis. It's actually a deformity of the hip or coxofemoral joint that occurs during a dog's growth period. Now, this is basically where the ball of the femur, which is that long bone between the knee and the hip, doesn't fit properly into the hip socket joint. Now, this causes a looseness in the hip joint, and this leads to abnormal wear and erosion of the joint. And as a result, pain and arthritis can develop. Now, an affected dog may show absolutely no signs of this condition, while others may actually show severe signs. And while there certainly can be a component of heredity with this condition, I really believe that environmental factors play a far bigger role in the progression of the disease. And, you know, any dog really can be affected by this. So today I want to share with you 5 things that I believe are important in preventing hip dysplasia from progressing and ruining your dog's life. Now, the symptoms of hip dysplasia in dogs include hind leg weakness, lack of coordination in those hindquarters, so sometimes you'll see swaying and staggering, a reluctance to run and jump, difficulty when attempting to lie down and stand up, and some abnormal gait. Now, commonly these symptoms show in older dogs, but you know, today we're really seeing many younger dogs showing signs for hip dysplasia, along with a whole range of other joint issues. So if you have a young puppy, it certainly does make good sense to address this from a preventative perspective really as soon as possible. So let's look now at 5 ways that we can do this. Now, the first thing I want you to consider is to avoid over-vaccinating. Now, did you know that every vaccination that you are giving your puppy or your dog can actually damage collagen? Now, why is this important, you ask? Well, collagen not only protects the joint cartilage, but also tendons and ligaments as well. And it's a bit like the use of steel rods to reinforce concrete. Now, if those steel rods are weak, this will weaken the overall structure. And studies have found that vaccinations can actually cause an autoimmune response that causes the immune system to basically attack that collagen, thus damaging it and breaking it down. So when you understand that these vaccinations are potentially damaging collagen, it really makes good sense to limit them as much as possible to help avoid any joint disease in the future or any other injuries. And you know, talking about collagen, did you know that dark green and orange veggies, oily fish and turkey all help collagen production? So that's great news. Now, secondly, we need to focus on diet and keeping your pup's gut healthy. Now, if you have a puppy with hip dysplasia or any other joint issue, then a raw, organic, grain-free diet is really essential. Why is this? Well, you know, diets based around grains and other high-calorie carbohydrates that are typically found in commercial foods can really cause a lot of rapid growth that can lead to excess weight gain and, of course, a lot of stress on the hip joints. Now, in addition, it's really important for growing pups that you don't feed extra calcium supplements, as this can really throw out the body's own natural balance of calcium and phosphorus. And this really can lead to a whole range of skeletal issues, including hip dysplasia, as well as creating some nutritional deficiencies. Now, keeping the gut healthy also goes hand in hand with diet. And we know that the health of the gut has a really wide influence on the state of your overall puppy's health. Now, this may seem really strange. How on earth can what's going on in the gut have anything to do with the joints? Well, gut imbalances and leaky gut issues can cause a whole range of inflammatory problems throughout the body and also contribute to joint disease. By avoiding processed foods, vaccinations, and a wide range of other chemicals, as well as stress, you can really help keep your puppy's gut strong and healthy. Now you can learn more about leaky gut by going to my blog. Just go to the link you'll see on the screen right now and check out the blog. Now we also want to thirdly avoid early spaying or neutering. Now if a puppy has been neutered before the age of about 6 months, they can lose certain sex hormones that really help regulate growth. Now growth plates in those long bones of growing pups can really be affected by this loss of sex hormone, and the risk of joint disease is much more likely if early spaying or neutering has occurred. And studies have shown that early spaying can actually double the risk of hip dysplasia and disease occurring at a younger age. Now you can read more about this article by going to the link on the screen now. So we really want to make sure that we don't, have our dogs neutered too early. Now, fourthly, we want to make sure that we appropriately exercise our dog. We don't want to be over-exercising a dog when young, because this can really lead to bone and joint issues, which may cause the development of these hip dysplasia symptoms. So gentle, low-impact exercise can be beneficial for puppies, but really avoid letting your pup run, jump, leap, go crazy. This is really stressful for those developing joints and can lead to hip dysplasia. Remember, we want a puppy with strong muscle tone that will really help support the whole joint, but we want to build that muscle in an appropriate way. And finally, we want to be able to use some natural herbs and supplements to strengthen the whole joint area. We can really turn to Mother Nature for those wonderfully supportive natural medicines to help strengthen and support joint health, and many of these can be given over very long periods of time. Now, of course, I really love to use herbs for the long-term health of any joint issue. Now, these might include herbs such as rose hips, yarrow, ginger, horsetail, and turmeric, just to name a few. But in addition to that, omega oils, magnesium, glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, green muscle, vitamin C and E can all be used to help support collagen production, as well as reduce inflammation, pain, and some of those other associated symptoms that we know are caused with the hip dysplasia. So using the herbal support for hip dysplasia or any other joint problem, if you'd like to find out more about that, then please email me for these formulas, and you'll see that link on the screen at the moment. So, if you've got a puppy with hip dysplasia, although it's distressing, there's certainly hope at hand. By implementing these 5 steps, you can really have a significant positive effect, not only on the health of your growing puppy's joints, but also on their overall health. And in the long term, you can really help prevent arthritis and other symptoms from developing from this hip dysplasia issue. So I hope you've enjoyed this post on the 5 ways to prevent hip dysplasia from ruining your dog's life. Please remember to leave me a comment or a question below or a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel where you receive the latest happy healthy dog tips straight to your inbox. So I look forward to catching up with you next time, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye for now.